I think I'd like to create like Billy Wilder. I'd show you the apartment and tell you something like it hot. Or maybe, like Mr. Hitchcock, I'd make you scared of heights, ropes, birds, and binoculars. But until then, all I have is this dime store cinema.
Hello, YouTube, Internet world. Welcome back to another episode of Dime Store Cinema on the road. Let's talk movies. So, have you ever found yourself wondering, asking the question, what would an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark be like if they were allowed to show gratuitous violence and gore? If that's ever been a question that's just gnawed at your conscience and you really wanted to be answered, might I suggest the 2016 movie Beyond the Gate? Because that is almost exactly what this movie is. From production value to acting to almost everything. Now, I mean, that's overstating it. It's better made than those shows are, but it's an episode of that show, all grown up. A little more budget, kids have grown up, taken a few classes on acting, but this movie literally could have been one of the episodes. And I'm not saying that to bash the movie. Growing up, I loved that show. That show and Goosebumps, I thought they were great. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. In any case, so the story goes, these two brothers who are estranged, haven't talked to each other in a while, come back to their hometown to clean up their father's video rental store. He's gone missing. He's been missing for 7 months. So presumed dead. So they come back because the lease is up on the video store, so they have to clean it out, shut it down. So already I'm gonna like this movie more than I otherwise would have, because it has just shot after shot of establishing shots of this video store, which is a huge video store with like any VHS you can think of, and most of them are VHS, which makes it even better. And it's just every time they do a sweeping shot or a wide shot of the video store, I drool. It makes me miss the days of going to the video store and clawing through all the different titles, deciding which movie I wanted to watch that day. Usually it would end up with me buying 5 or 6 movies and watching them over the course of a couple days. So, I mean, and it's the same thing with movies like Be Kind, Rewind, and Watch the Detective. Like, even if those movies aren't the best movies, I love them because the lead roles are film nerds and own video stores. Of course, with Be Kind, Rewind, a lot of people didn't like that movie. And I won't go into detail because this isn't a review of that movie, but I loved it. I mean, partly because it had Mos Def in it, who I really like and respect. Partly because it's about guys just making movies for fun, which is amazing. Partly because they talk about Fats Waller, who is an amazing jazz musician. And partly because it takes place primarily in a video store. So, like, I don't understand how film lovers could be upset or not like this movie. I mean, it's speaking to us. I mean, I don't know. I mean, granted, I don't think that it's a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's for us. fun little movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But anyway, we're getting off topic. So, like I said, the two brothers come back together after not seeing each other for a while, and they're there to clean out the video store. And it's early on established in the movie that they're that they used to play these VHS-based board games, and kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure type thing, but using different VHS within the as kind of like the DM or the narrator. I think that those actually existed. I'm not sure. I never played any of them or anything like that, but it sounds like something they would have done. Maybe I'll do more research on that. Maybe I'll play one. Sounds interesting. In any case, as things go and as they kind of start talking about and reliving some of the things from their past, you realize that it was kind of a rough childhood, and they had problems with their father to begin with, and there were issues going on. It was good. It created a little bit of subtext and a little bit of history with these characters that you're supposed to care about, and I think it did an alright job. I mean, it's definitely a very small movie. It's very contained. There's not much production value to it, which, you know, it's a low budget independent film, so you can't expect too much. You know, I'm not sure of the budget, but in the hands of maybe a better or more competent filmmaker, they probably could have done a little bit more. But like I said, I don't want to complain about it too much. It was a fun little film, so just if you're interested in watching this type of thing, just know that it's a very, very small scale. They don't do much as far as production value. I think most of their efforts went into the few scenes of gore that were in it. They did a pretty good job. You know, very obviously fake stuff, but cool in the execution, even if not realistic. Very interesting in the way that they succeeded in doing it. So as it progresses, the older brother's girlfriend comes into town with him. They stay in their father's old house, and they find the key to his office. And it appears that the last thing that their father was doing was playing one of these VHS-based board games. So they decide to take it home with them and look it up a little bit. And then the girlfriend tells them that they should play it. So they decide to play it. And in playing that, they unlock a game that alters the fabric of time and space, and essentially forces them to play through in real life the scenarios of the game, kind of like Jumanji. And when I read the description of the movie, that's all I could think of. I was like, oh, it's Jumanji, but it's a horribly violent and much lower or smaller scale Jumanji. But you know, I don't really hold that against it too much. I mean, it's a little bit like it, a little bit too much like it. So in any case, so they're forced to go through all these horrible things. They have to fight off zombies and kill their friends inadvertently, just to progress the board game story. And the thought is, their initial thought, and when they start playing this and they start realizing that it's real, is they think that they're going to be able to rescue their father. They realize that he's been taken by this game, and So that's part of their motivation. And then, of course, the other part of the motivation is they don't continue playing it and succeed, they'll die. So there's that motivation too. In any case, you know, it's all what you would expect. You know, no spoilers, but they play through the game, and you know, there's violence and people getting hurt to a point that in real life they would probably die. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, you know, kind of run-of-the-mill horror once you actually get into it, and then, you know, just put on a very small budget, very small scale. But, you know, I mean, I'm saying all this, if you're a fan of low budget or independent horror films, you might get a kick out of it, particularly, like I said, if you were a fan growing up of Goosebumps or of Are You Afraid of the Dark, any of those shows, because and I know I said this at the beginning of the video, I don't mean to repeat myself over and over again, but I mean, it really is, as I was watching it, that's all I could think. It really was just an episode of one of those shows, all grown up, you know. It's Are You Afraid of the Dark drinking age, essentially. I mean, it really was, like, even the feel of it was just, which was great. I mean, it was very nostalgic for me, a lot of fun. So, you know, if you're interested in pursuing something for nostalgia's sake, then I think that it's a good watch. If you're interested in a brilliant piece of cinema, I would skip it. It's not worth it. It's on Netflix, though. If you have Netflix, you like low-budget horror, you were into those shows when you were a kid, you're interested in nostalgia, I would go for it. And I will say, it's trying really hard. It's trying really hard to have that same feel as Stranger Things. And it follows the you know, time period ambiguous 80s feel. You know, it's really popular now. A lot of movies and shows are going for that. I mean, I understand it's a method that so far is working, but I'm worried because I enjoy it. But I'm worried that it's going to oversaturate and it's just going to start becoming a trope, and I don't want it to be. It needs to be used sparingly. It needs to be used to serve the story, not to try to get more people to see it. I don't think that's a good motivation. If you're really interested in people seeing your movie, make a good movie. And you know, it might not get a bunch of views right off the bat, but you know, it's hard to keep good movies hidden these days. There's so many outlets and avenues for people to discover it and to get it out there. So, you know, just concern yourself with making a good movie. If that same feel, that 80s feel, that Goonies mixed with adult theme feel suits your movie, then go for it. If not, don't use it just to get people to watch it. And I think that this movie kind of did that a little bit, except for the fact, I think what keeps me from saying that that's exactly what these guys were doing is the fact that VHS cassettes were so prominently used in the movie, because I mean, that's inescapably an 80s and 90s thing. So, you know, based on that element of it, I think it kind of makes sense why they were going for that a little bit, but at the same time, they were towing the line with their tone. And so, you know, just a constructive criticism. But, you know, I had a great time watching it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, if you have Netflix and, you know, you want to watch something that feels a little nostalgic and you're into independent horror films, give it a watch. It's fun. It won't change your life, but it might entertain you for an hour or so. So, alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and please like, please subscribe if you're into that kind of thing, and I will talk to you all next time.